Hey everyone, Mike here from MLive&apos, joined by Justin Rogers. 37-point outburst for the Lions last week, Justin, was an encouraging sign that this offense could be getting it together, or it could be a sign that they're playing the Chicago Bears. With the offense, Justin, how much do you buy that the offense is is progressing at this point?
You know me, I'm a sample size guy. This is a really small sample size against a pretty bad defense. I had some commenters throw around some numbers for the Chicago Bears this week, and Matthew Stafford oddly repeated the same numbers about the Bears being the 4th-ranked pass defense and 7th-ranked defense overall, or something like that coming in. Well, those numbers didn't tell a story that was accurate. The Bears were a really bad pass defense. The passer rating against them was over 100. They've given up more big plays per pass attempt than anybody. It's just nobody's throwing on them, so the overall passing numbers were low. So I think it's more symptomatic of playing the Bears. But I look back at the Arizona Cardinals game a little bit, and I say, okay, well, they were moving the ball well there. That's a better defense. So it's trending in the right direction. I just need to see more.
I don't think this offense is as bad as what we saw in the second half against the Chargers and again the following week against the Vikings and especially against the Broncos. But I don't think it's as good either as what we saw against the Bears. I think it's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And we've seen, again, you broke down it nicely of the progress of the offense against the Cardinals that bled into last week against the Bears. Admittedly, not a very good defense, but you did what you were expected to do opening the season. So you can't hold that against the Lions. And I look at the offensive line in particular, Justin. They've made progress, I would say, 3 weeks in a row now. Stafford was pressured only about 30% of the snaps last week, which was down 10% from what it was just a couple of weeks ago. So he's getting more time. Warford's back. Tomlinson's making really quick progress at left guard. Had a very good game last week, and so I think I look at that as a sign of this offense could be better than what it was to open the season, even if it's not as good as a 37-point game against the Bears.
And again, it's going to be a sample size argument, but I think this is a really good barometer for them. This Vikings team coming in. I've always been a fan of Mike Zimmer. I liked his defenses in Cincinnati. I thought he was a good hire for the Vikings, and he took over the worst scoring defense in the NFL when he came in. They're number 2 in the NFL right now, and listen, they've only played 5 games, but they're allowing 16.
One against the Lions.
Yeah, they're allowing less than 17 points per game, fewer than 17 points per game. Lions were held to 10 last time. Couldn't do anything downfield. Couldn't run the ball.
Stafford was beat up pretty badly.
He really was, and he was coming off a San Diego game where he was already physically banged up. So if the Lions are making progress, we will really see it, I think, in this game because Minnesota always plays the Lions tough, and with a Zimmer defense, it's just that much more difficult.
Yeah, I expect the Lions to score more than 10 points in this game. Ford Field will be a factor, but also I see this offense getting better finally. Maybe finding some identity with some rhythm with the play calling, and again the improvements up front. The rushing game is finally showing some signs that it might be finding itself. I think Joyke Bell will be back this week, which will give him another body. Who knows how good he'll be, but it's another option back there. And so, I don't think this is a top 5 offense like what we expected coming into the season or a top 10 offense. But I don't think you're going to see a 10-point effort like you did, early in the season with tons of turnovers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Bell is critical. It sounds tough saying that given the fact he averaged 1.1 yards per carry before suffering the setback with his ankle. But, looking back at the film against the Bears, what I noticed a trend. I tried to do a film review on it and just couldn't get my data and viewpoint correctly. But a lot of outside runs for the Lions. Amir Abdullah really seems to run that stretch zone to the outside really well. They don't run up the middle effectively, and if you can't run up the middle effectively, teams can find ways to take away those edges. So they need to find that power component to their running game. I don't think they're going to have it in Abdullah or Riddick. So with Zenner done for the year, it's really Bell or
George Wynn.
And that's
he was
not great.
I thought Wynn was okay last year. I thought,
is not. Yeah.
3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I would trust him to get a yard, but anything more than that, no. And I thought his preseason was problematic, and I wanted to ask him today about it, but he was napping on the floor of the locker room. I didn't have the heart.
Par for Win.
I didn't have the heart to wake him up, but that's the state of the Lions rushing game as it is. But no, but I think I see progress from the offense. It's not going to be a top 5 offense. I think we should come to expect that throughout the whole year. But it's getting better. That's a good sign. I'm real curious to see where Joe Lombardi watches this game, I suspect he's back up in the press box,
sure.
considering it worked last week. Even though the Lions tried to downplay its direct effect on the 37-point game, the results speak for themselves, and I think he'll be right back up there.
Yeah, more with the run game. 3rd and 1 is important, obviously. That extends a drive, but I'm looking for 4 yards on first down. When you get 2nd and manageable and 3rd and manageable, that's when you take your shots. That's when the downfield shots open in the passing game. That's when opponents have to respect the run game, respect the play action. Everything starts for an offense with the ability to consistently run the football.
Yep.
Detroit did that in the first half against San Diego. Look how good they looked offensively for that half. Detroit did that against Chicago. Look how good the offense looked. It's going to boil down to running the football. I saw a lot of strides there with Warford back. I thought they blocked the stretch zone runs much better.
I agree.
And Burton. Michael Burton's a guy we're not going to talk about a whole lot because he plays 15, 20 snaps, but the kid plays really well, fulfills his assignments. I think he's going to play a bit of a role as that run game evolves.
Yeah, it starts with the running game. It culminates, I think, with the deep passing attack, which is where this team can really exploit some people with the matchup advantages it has with Calvin and Stafford. But that can't happen without a threat of a running game, or especially protection from the offensive line. Those things are happening. We're seeing some progress in the deep passing game. But can the Lions put it back together again against a very good defense? We will see. For Justin Rogers, I'm Meinke. We are MLive. Keep it right here.